Well, good morning. Just caught up with Star Trek Picard. Well, I saw it on Friday briefly, but I had to go over it again today. It's like 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Well, I've been out most at weekend, so pretty exhausted. But it's today's final episode of Doctor Who. Let's hope they can get it right. After I think last week was quite good, but that's for tonight's live show. So let me know your thoughts on that. So Star Trek Picard. Episode 6, very good. Picard and the crew track Soji to the Bog Cube in Romulan space, resurfacing the haunting memories for Picard. Meanwhile, Narek believes he found a way to safely exploit Soji for information. So, they're all on ship. It starts with what's been going on. We're on episode 6 and we're moving up. They're on the way to Bog Cube. They get Raffi out of bed. She's completely plastered because she's got a drink problem, and they drag her out, and she contacts this woman at Starfleet who's in some dodgy department, and they get diplomatic clearance to go to this cube because it's Picard. And that's it really. Han Solo, the captain, I forgot his name, you know, him with the beard, he gets her into bed. Is it the doctor, the cyberneticist? There's like a thing she's going on about a superpower she got when she knows when she's making mistakes, but they end up bonking, and that's it, you know, like he's booting a football about, and you knew that were going to happen. So then we sort of like get on to the scene where we get Raffi out of bed and the contact staff, and they get this diplomatic clearance, and we arrive at the Bog Cube. Finally we're going to get to see, well, we're seeing him, but Hugh. So Picard, I feel really sorry for Picard because it goes back to the Next Generation when he was the Q as a Bog, and he's having all Bog nightmares and that, you know, what were happening to him, which was sort of fascinating. I like these little tidbits, you know, when you go back to TNG. So they get on board. He's looking for Soji and You's showing him what they're doing, and basically Romulans are meant to, you know, they're getting old technology. And they can't touch him because he's like a Federation citizen, and he's like the director of the project. But there must be some agreement where they're helping the Borg, that Romulans are taking everything. But he said the new Queen is the Romulans. You know, and he wants freedom for his people to be accepted, which is quite interesting because you go into the sort of aspects of the Borg, that this like whole machine of how it works, that, you know, they're this malevolent race, but they're not all the drones are victims, and they really go into this, which is quite interesting. I quite like that because they are victims. I mean, when the Borg come, I mean, just wipe out entire civilizations and consume it. And there's a lot of running around ship. Anyway, creepy guy from tells Narek. Obviously, there's been a scene where they're in bed together, and she's telling about these dreams she's having. She keeps having these dreams. She's going down a corridor, and he takes her to this room where there's like, it's like some kind of like tuning to your mind and stuff from Romulan culture. It's like a meditation room or something like that. And he takes her in there, and he's got this box. I thought it was a Rubik's Cube. Let's call it a Rubik's Cube. It's this box in. It's like a puzzle box. And his sister, she's in another room watching all this. And they're trying to get her memories without activating Soji, you know, without activating her. And they're going round room. Meanwhile, Picard's running round ship. And on board the ship with Rafe and the captain and the cyberneticist. I keep forgetting the names, I apologise. The Elnor, the elf, he's like, they're going, where's the kid? He's gone and beamed aboard the Borg Cube. I'm starting to like him, actually, you know. So they get onto the Borg Cube. And they go through, back in this meditation room, therefore I don't know them, but it's, they're going through it, and she suddenly sees herself as a kid. She's in this lab with this we see this cyberneticist. Is it Dr. Sung, is it Law? We don't know, that's me speculation. But she can never see her father's face, and she sees a doll on the table, and it's her. You know, that's obviously when she was being created. And she starts freaking out. And I thought he was a bit nasty because he's sort of holding her, isn't he? And she said, well, what does it all mean? I saw, he said, well, you're not real. You know, you're a doll. You're an android, a synthetic. You know, it's everything you know. It's like, it's a lie, you know. And I felt right sorry for her because she's freaking out. And he's quite cold about it. I think he does have feelings towards you. But I think, you know, obviously he's you know, he's under his own problems. But I think he does because he seems, I'll go into this and say, I think he is in love with her, but she's a machine, you know, according to his sister. Picard goes to her quarters with you. It's a mess because she was like scanning everything and everything's 35 months old. So they're looking for her. And then we jump back to the meditation room. And he, how do you say it? He sort of goes down like he gets the box out and turns it on, and then he just walks out of the room, leaves. And I think you really do feel for Soji. It's like, you know, this revelation. And this gas, like the box twisting and turning, she's banging on the door and this Romulan soldier stood there. He says, no, leave her in there. And this gas gets released, obviously to kill synthetics or dissolve them, this gas. And suddenly she starts smacking floor and tearing floor up and all this. And she gets out, and he is upset. I mean, I actually do think he does care about her. I think, but he's obviously with his sister on his case. They've got to do what they want because they've got a location in this vision quest you were on. That she saw 2 red moons with lots of lightning storms around them in some kind of gas cloud system. And they've got their information, so that's where obviously all the synthetics are hiding. So she does the run, and Picard's looking for her with you, and they find her. She comes flying through the roof, and he says, come with me, and she's a bit unwell, but he pulls out her sister's necklace, you know, with the 2 sort of circles on, and they go running off, and then they end up in Bob Queen's chamber where you takes, obviously, but you will know things about this kid, the Romulans don't even know. Then they bring up is it the Sarkosians? I forgot the name. They were in Voyager with the translator, you know, where he travels so many thousand light years. It deflect. You remember that episode? I think it was in the first season of Voyager with that race. They must have got simulated, you know, they were all in a pleasure, and then they went on that thing, they went to 40,000 light years with that projector. Well, there's one of them on board, and they go off to some planet called Penfeir somewhere, and that's where it finishes. But Elnor turns up and he starts slaughtering out Romulans, and Picard says, look, what are you doing? And he says, go. And just heard it, and they go through translator used there, and he just heard a voice, it just says, do you really want to live? You know, and that's it, you know. So obviously he's butchering them all, and that's it. And it is quite, the thing is with Picard, when you get into it, it just finishes out of blue. You don't realise the time frame of it. Just finishes just as you get your teeth more into it. So it's been, I thought this episode, again, I thought it was fantastic. A great episode. People got to agree with me, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this entire series. Now, who's their father? I know I've said he's Lorelei. Maddox did mention him and Sung, but maybe he was on about Dr. Sung in past tense. I don't know, but the mystery is deepening. There's another player involved in all this, and that the man with no face, father, that's the 3rd player. So I think next week, the dots, we're on episode 7, we're going to get a big chunk next week. Not all of it, enough, you know, hopefully. But there's a lot going on, and the character development, I'm quite enjoying in this. How they're all coming together. I like Picard today when he were having like fears on that cube. He's a very human character, is Picard. Very flawed, and I like that. Because at Next Gen, I loved the Next Gen, but they were all a bit too perfect in some episodes, weren't they? But it's very nice to see this human side of it all. I did discuss with a friend of mine about the F-bombs. I don't think there were any in this episode. And some people have been going on about how gruesome it is, especially with Eyeball. It took me a while to get used to all this, but I suppose this is the way it's all going to be going now. You know, so let me know. I've spoken to a couple of people on YouTube about this, about the F-bombs. It's sort of like, I don't know. I think, I remember when I first heard it and discovered I was a bit taken aback, you know. But I suppose this is going to be it from now on. But where this series is going, it's going to be interesting where the outcome of going. I do have a prediction, but it's all speculation of what's going on. But I have said that, and I think it'd be great if they could bring Law back. Or what if Sung's alive? He put himself into an android body. I could be wrong. But obviously we're going to this with the 2 moons now, the 2 red moons. So that's where the answers are. I don't think we'll be on our way there till about episode 8. I really don't. I think next week we'll be running about everywhere. I think there'll be more Romulan involvement next week. But I don't know. We might end up spending the next 3 episodes on them red moons. I don't know. But very enjoyable. Good episode. Roll on next Friday. I'm looking forward to watching this as like one big block. Because it's just how it finishes, you know. So I've enjoyed this series so far. So guys, I will be on live after Doctor Who tonight, the final episode. Then next Sunday, we'll be back to talking about science fiction every single week and that. Sorry about the focus on Doctor Who because it's on, it's happening, and we're just sort of going with it. But it finishes tonight, and I'm quite glad because I've had enough of watching BBC One, to be honest. So the Solo One podcast that'll be up this week. I had a good time making that. Predator versus Manimal, listening to find out who won. And that's it. I'm going to do a couple of videos today. I've picked up some, so that should be into. I've got a Blu-ray which I'm going to talk about after this video, which should be good. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Live long and prosper, and well, great episode. I'm loving this series. Alright guys, see you tonight.